everybody, Tim Bart's here, McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. As you can tell from my background, we are not live at the dealership. I'm actually on vacation right now, and I'm recording this on the way while we're on vacation. My wife is driving the vehicle, and it's pretty windy out, so she's doing a fabulous job. But we still want to do a video for you guys, and so this is coming as a what YouTube calls as a premiere video, which means that it's pre-recorded, but you're watching it live with me, so it's just kind of like the live stream, except there's not going to be live Q&A. So I'm going to flash up here on the screen that this is a pre-recorded, and there'll be no live interaction with you on video, but maybe I'll pop in on the chat. You never know, so be looking for that, and we'll just see what's going on. So if we're having a fun time, having dinner or something like that, you won't see me, but you know, if we're someplace and I can just peek in just to say hi, then I might be in the chat, so be looking for me there. But hope you guys enjoy this. One of the things that I wanted to do is continue doing the episodes, because this is also about you guys, because we've really created a great community here on the live streams on every Tuesday night, and so I wanted to continue that. So you guys chat with each other down there. I'm sure you already have prior to the video going live. I always see that every week where you guys are chatting with each other up to sometimes an hour before the live stream. So hopefully you guys are having a good time. But there are some important things that I do want to cover this week. A lot of people have been asking me the last couple days about some things, and I'm kind of trying to keep it on the down low because I wanted to talk about it in the live stream. So we're going to talk about that tonight. You can tell by the title, one of the things that we're going to talk about is a couple things that were released at NADA Ford meeting this weekend that we're going to talk about, mostly at the end, but also some stuff about scheduling as well. So again, don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed. Hit the notification bell. That way you get notified the next time another video uploads to the channel. And again, thank you to all the members that are in there. You have your those icons right there, and appreciate all of you guys being members. And especially thanks to Charles Ridgeview, our moderator, who's gonna take care of keep you guys in line tonight. So I appreciate all his hard work there. Again, don't forget that we're gonna record this as a podcast. It may be Thursday before the podcast goes live, but you can find that on your favorite podcasting streaming channels. I do upload them to Podbean. Sorry for jump there. I do upload those to Podbean, and they did actually notify me this week that we are now up to 1,000 downloads on the podcast of the different episodes and such. So if you want to listen to this later, you can listen to it on your favorite streaming network. Check it out there, or you can go to Podbean or find it on our website at McArthur.com/fordvideoguy. Also, of course, if you have any questions, pop them down below. My email there, fordvideoguy@gmail.com. Probably be Thursday, Friday before I get back to some of those. Just depends on how things going. Some of the recent videos that we've dropped. I think it was last Thursday, we did a video on the 22 Bronco job order to price increase. So some information about that is in that video. Again, these are linked down in the description, so you can check those out later if you want to. Also, the 22 Ford Edge SE complete guide video, I think that was Friday or maybe Monday that went live. Link is for that is down in the description. And coming up, we'll have the 22 Edge ST line complete guide walk around video, as well as the 22 Ford Explorer Timberline edition complete guide will be coming up as well. So some information about that on those videos, as well as don't forget I'll be probably going live Thursday night. We'll see how things go. May still be on vacation if we want to extend it a little bit, but otherwise I'll have the link down the description if we decide to go live Thursday night. And you can also check that out on our Facebook page at of course, if you go to Facebook, just search for McArthur, all one word, you'll find us there. You can also check that out there. So also, I don't know if you guys are right now, I don't know if you noticed, but it is basketball season. March Madness is going on, and so I'm a big KU fan, grew up in Lawrence, big Kansas Jayhawk fan, and they got a #1 seed, so we're gonna have some fun. link is down in the description to if you want to put a bracket together. Some people, that's kind of thing they do. I haven't watched basketball all year this season. I've been so busy with Maverick stuff and different things going on at the dealership that I actually haven't really watched any basketball, but I'm going to fill out a bracket anyway. I think everybody does. And so if you want to fill out a bracket and go against me, you can check out the link down in the description from the NCAA. And then the password to that is 2022 Maverick with a capital M. So again, that information is in the description as well. All right, so let's dive in, get into the scheduling news and information. A lot of vehicles scheduling this week. That's just a joke. There's only 4. Ford Maverick is going to be scheduling this week, I think for May build dates. And then the Super Duty will be scheduling this week. EcoSport is going to be finishing up, I believe, this week. In fact, I think they're only doing a partial scheduling just to finish that out, because it is going away after this year. And then the Transit will be scheduling this week again. No F150, no Bronco Sport scheduling, no Expedition, Edge, Escape. None of those are scheduling this week. A lot of them aren't going to be scheduling for the month. So only 4 model lineups scheduling this week, including the Ford Maverick, which I think is going to be great news for a lot of people out there. A lot of people on the Maverick, upset theirs hasn't been scheduled yet, but at least your model lineup is being scheduled. There's a lot of model lineups that are not, and a lot of people have been waiting for a long time for theirs. At least you get to have the Mavericks getting scheduled there. Also, some scheduling notes to look at. The Transit does have a mid-year price increase that starts March 14th. So again, just like the other ones we've been talking about recently, how that works, they're going to be price protected as well. If you have a Transit order in prior to that date, they're going to be price protected as long as that dealership knows what they're doing. So hopefully your dealership is one of those dealers. Also, they are, because we're going to talk later in the episode about some things that's going on in NADA that came up. One of them we're kind of talking about now is that they're going to include the auto start stop delete on several models, because that actually, I think, takes more chips and such for that, and that switch. Our Expedition has it on ours. You can shut that off. So basically, auto start stop will be disabled and deleted on your Explorers with the 2.3 liter engine, your F150 with the 2.7 liter with the 4x4, all your 5.0 liter 2-wheel drive and 4x4s, as well as your 3.5 EcoBoost, not the Power Boost, not the hybrids, just the EcoBoost gas ones on the 4x4s also will get deleted with that deleted. All your Rangers except for the trimmer, and then your Expeditions except for the Stealth Performance Package and your Platinums will also get the auto start stop deleted. Now, I don't know if that means current orders, because we have an Expedition on order, so I don't know if it's going to have the auto start stop or not, but they are going to delete those off those vehicles. So I guess we'll see here a little bit when we pull our window sticker. Once that gets scheduling date and gets closer to it, we'll be able to pull our window sticker and be able to see that, because it will show on your window stickers. So the last vehicle has now updated for the 2022 build and price. So now build and price is completely up to date. All the 22 build and prices are on Ford's website now. 22 Mustang was the last of those that needed updated, and it got updated this last week. All right, so let's talk about some Ford in the news. So Ford did come out that the last over-the-air update for the 2021s with the Blue Cruise, so Job 1s that had the Blue Cruise, of course you got the hardware and such, that you got the over-the-air update, should be able to start being able to use your Blue Cruise for those early 2021 vehicles that had the Blue Cruise. Now, to have that, a lot of people have asked me, well, my vehicle should have it because it has the Copilot 360. There's 3 versions of Copilot 360. There's a 360 2.0, the 360 Assist 2.0, and the 360 Active 2.0. You have to have the Active because that comes with the hardware for the Blue Cruise. So you're going to have sensors on both sides of the steering wheel if you have that. So you will need the Active to be able to get that. So that gives you the hardware, and then you'll get the over-the-air update and be able to use the Blue Cruise. Everything on 21, Job Order 2, and 22s are going to come active. You should be able to use those already. All right, now I also, down in the description, I have an article for where they took the F150 Lightning out in Alaska. They did some winter driving to check performance and different things like that, and battery durability and such. And so they did an article and they let the road crew Roadshow, right? Yeah, Roadshow Ride Along. So they did a video. So down in the description is an article. You can read the article or you can watch the video where they talk about it. So go ahead and check that video out there as well there. Rough road. Also, 22 Ford Explorer will temporarily drop the second row climate control. So Ford Authority dropped this article this week. I have it linked down in the description as well. Let me kick over to my notes on that. I'm going to read some of the highlights from that. So the second row climate controls are standard equipment on the 22 Ford Explorer, and that's the climate controls behind the console here for the rear seats. So they are going to basically eliminate, because it takes chips for that, they're going to eliminate that. They're going to put a different cover on the back of it. So they're going to be producing the SUV without the controls. The climate control will be there, the rear climate will be there, just the controls will not be there until they get updated. So they're going to have a different panel that'll be on there. They'll actually have those spots kind of basically a cover over that where those controls would be, until they can come in until later, and then they can update and put the new controls in there once they get the chip for those. So they're already starting this. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. So Explorers are getting started with that. Also, those with the rear heated seats will not get the rear heated seats either until later. So they'll come with the hardware for the heated seats, but not the software for the chips. So the window stickers will get a credit for that. So $50 credit for those with the rear climate control. It'll show it on their window sticker. It'll say rear auxiliary climate credit. And on the heated seats, it'll be $100 credit, and it'll say second row heated seat controls credits. So those, they say, are being shipped out from the Ford Chicago assembly plant right now in that fashion. So we're going to see more and more of this, I think, as we go along, while we're waiting on chips and different things, supplies, and all kinds of other stuff. There's another article I wanted to share with you guys down, have that in the description as well, from motorbiscuit.com, where they talked about the 3 reasons why the Ram Dakota cannot beat the Ford Maverick. And so the 3, I'm going to give you just the highlights here. So basically, fuel economy is one reason the Dakota cannot match up against the Maverick. For one, the Dakota really isn't a competitor to the Ford Maverick. It's actually more of a competitor to the Ranger, which is why 1 and 2 make a lot of sense. That fuel economy isn't going to be low enough. It's not going to get the 40 miles to the gallon, because it's not going to be available in a hybrid, for one. So you're not going to be able to compete with the Ford Maverick fuel economy. Number 2 is affordability. They're going to start out at $26,000, whereas the Maverick starts off at $20,000. So again, it's more of a competitor to the Ranger in that reason. But they're really kind of coming out with Ram saying they want to compete in that compact truck segment, but really they're really competing with the Ranger, and they're really not. They don't really have a competitor there. And of course, number 3 they point out is the flex bed, in that the great flexibility that you have in that bed for the Maverick, that the Ram's Dakota is not going to have that type of bed configuration and be able to have a nice flexibility and the different options that you already have that Ford has thought through as part of the Ford Maverick. So if you want to read the article, it's linked down there as well. Also, Roush has come out with the Roush Ranger, and we do have some on order already. So Ford Authority put an article together. I'm going to read some of the highlights from that article, just to kind of show you what it's going to be like. I'm probably not going to show any pictures just because I want to get this video up for you guys. But the Ranger Raptor, the Roush Ranger, not the Raptor. The Roush Ranger, available now for 22 F150 or 22 Ranger. I'll get it together. But we will have some of the styling cues that you'll have. You'll get the Roush front grille. They always do a fabulous job with creating a great grille. They'll also have the LED lights on there, so they're kind of a longer bar at the top of that. So a dual built-in LED light bars on those. Magnetic painted fender flares as well, with the integrated accent lighting, even though it doesn't need it, because accent lighting, the reason they're there on the Raptor and such is because if they're wider, if they're too wide, you have to have those on your vehicles by law. But on the Roush is kind of just starting to put them on vehicles, because the Ranger's not going to be too wide, I wouldn't think, that it would need them. But I think they're just trying to add that flair to them, just like they do with the F-150 for that reason. So they're going to have the accent lighting, the functional fender vent badging, which is great because F-150, when it came out on 21, did not have a functional vent. It was just an upgraded vent there. So this is going to be functional, which is great with the badging. The red tow hooks on the front as well. And then you're going to get a Roush hitch cover and a tailgate badge. We've always seen that. Of course, they put those on the F-150. The 18-inch satin black Roush wheels with the locking lug nuts, so it's going to come with that. It's not going to be part standalone option on this. And then you get the 32-inch General Tire Grabber ATX all-terrain tire. So pretty good little setup on the outside. Now, don't forget this can be put on any of your 22 Raptors. Of course, it comes from Roush, so it's going to be put on at the Roush factory and be sent to us that way. So I'll kind of talk about the configuration later of how it needs to be configured and such. But on the inside, you will get the Roush Ranger receives the premium leather seating with the quilted stitching and Roush embroidering. Now, Roush does a really good job on their leather, so I think you'll like the interior that way. Roush gauges, which again always do so well on the gauge cluster, will be updated with that Roush R, in the reverse and that kind of thing. Roush floor liners, which they're going to have, serialized dash mounted badge, a certificate of authenticity, the Roush R key fobs, both a center console vault and a rear seat vault are going to be available as optional equipment. So you're going to have both of those. The rear seat vault, that's new. I haven't seen them put that on a vehicle yet. So, but with the some of those configurations, you can have the buckets, you get the jump seats, so they'll probably put a console vault in the middle, which is kind of cool. For performance, the Roush gives, of course, the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder a bit of an upgrade with the dual tip catback exhaust, which looks really sharp on the vehicle, along with the tuner's performance suspension package. So that's going to be a nice suspension package. Doesn't mention it here, but you know that the cold air intake will work on the Ranger. We have actually put it on ours before, so you can get the Roush cold air intake, the air filtration system, and it looks really good. I have it on my Bronco. It'll help with fuel economy as well as performance there. But also mentions as optional equipment, you can get the off-road utility kit, the upper stripe, and rocker stripe packages. So probably one or the other there for those. It says all 22 Roush Rangers models begin with the XLT trim equipped in either the 301 or 302A equipment group, one of those two. And the customers can choose from 9 different colors, including the new hot pepper red metallic paint, which we've seen on the Maverick. And of course, come with a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty, and they're starting out at $13,250 plus the cost of the pickup, of course. So you're going to add that to it. So a couple cool things to add there. Now let's get into a couple other things. This week on Reddit, someone from Sunrun. Sunrun is the company that installs the Pro charger for the F-150 Lightning in your house. If you order those, they're the ones putting those in. There was somebody that actually works at Sunrun that was available to put information out there if they had any questions and such. So I wanted to put that link down there. So if you're looking at F-150 Lightning, want some information, he was there to answer any questions. So he said, ask me anything. So go in there, click on that link. He works for Sunrun, and he can answer some questions for you if you want. Also, speaking of that, we helped out a Lightning customer this week. So there was somebody on F1 or on the F150 Lightning. They got an invite from another dealership. They went to submit their order. The dealership actually was putting a $5,000 charge over MSRP on their order. So they told the dealer not to accept their order, but to go ahead and just refuse it, I think is what they called it. And so they did. The dealership did that, and he's trying to switch over to another dealer. Found one dealership, found out they weren't doing any transfers, then went to another dealership, got a hold of Ford to switch their reservation over, but it wasn't showing up at the dealership. And so he reached out to me to see if there's anything I could do, and I reached out to the brand manager, and we got everything taken care of for him, which is really awesome. So there's a link down there to the forum on F-150 where he kind of talks about his story and everything, and I thought I'd share that with you, especially if you're a Lightning owner out there and that you're in that same type of situation where you get an invite, you want to switch it to another dealership. Once you've submitted the order, it can be, as long as as that dealership doesn't accept the order, it can be switched to another dealer, but it has to be done manually by the Lightning group. So you have to contact the brand manager to get that accomplished. So I can help with that if you have any other questions with that. So, all right, so let's get into the is it true. We're 20 minutes in right now to my video, looks like. So it's about the time we normally do that. So is it true this week? A lot of people have mentioned that they're saying there's no way all the Mavericks are going to get built for 22. More than likely, it's going to, a lot of them are going to get pushed to 23 because they're throwing out that number that there's 100,000 Maverick orders out there, and that's not true. There were 100,000 Maverick reservations because at the beginning, the first couple months, you reserve and then switch that reservation over to an order with your dealer. Well, a lot of people didn't convert theirs over, and there are a lot of people that put in multiple reservations at multiple dealerships to find the one that was going to do the best pricing, and then they ordered with them. So putting in multiple reservations were out there. So I reached out to the brand manager this week, and I got a message back from him because I did ask him, do you have any idea how many orders there were for the Maverick, and told him why I was wanting that information. And here's his message to us. He said, unfortunately, I cannot share the total number of orders that we received for the Maverick. However, I will say that we considered our total production capacity when we decided to cut off the new orders for both the hybrid and gas models, which I've mentioned that before in the past. You know, there's a reason they did cut them off. Otherwise, it continued to keep taking orders. So they cut it off for a reason, and that was because they knew that they were getting close to the end of capacity, and they didn't want to carry people over to the next model year. So he did say chip constraints and shorter than expected demand on Copilot 360. No, I'm sorry, let me repeat that sentence. Chip constraints and stronger than expected demand for the Copilot 360 and the luxury packages has created the buildability challenge for the 22 model year and might cause some orders to be moved to 23 model year. But he does say removing these packages, especially on orders that were placed close to the cutoff, will improve odds of getting their vehicle scheduled as a 22 model year. So keep that in mind. I think they're going to be able to produce, you know, they really felt like they could produce all of them if enough people had taken some things off their orders, including, you know, the Copilot 360 and the luxury packages. So really, especially if you had yours late, I already kind of talked about this last week, you know, they could be built as a 22 and not be pushed to 23. Remember, we still have about 6 months of production here. So we still have, you know, all of March, June, July, I forgot April, May there. We have several months there, and they'll probably even go into September because they won't start producing 23s until the end of October, and they usually take about 2 weeks or so to switch things over. So we'll get a lot more information in August, but if, you know, just we really need to wait until about July, August before we start talking about, you know, what do I do to switch my 22 over to 23. There's still a lot of time between now and then. If you have a scheduled date, it will get built as a 22. They're not going to schedule it for a 22 and then not build it as a 22. So keep that in mind as well. So if you have a scheduled build date, don't worry. Even if it gets pushed back a little bit, it's going to get built as a 22. So just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about a couple things that happened at NADA this week. All the manufacturers will usually have a dealer meeting where the dealers can come in. They'll give them a little insight and that kind of thing. Sometimes in past years they'll show them new products and such, but I think Ford's really released all the new products that they have right now out there. But they did have a couple things they did talk about. One of them that they mentioned was about dealers not receiving any allocations until May. So I wanted to bring that up because a lot of people had reached out to me on the Maverick Truck Club as well as personally on Facebook and such. And again, you got to read more than just the title. So here's what the title says. It says, Ford pushing back dealer allocations until May. Now let's read the article. There's more to it, and I know the article was released through Automotive News. Unless you have a subscription, you can't read the article. So I'm going to read parts of it for you. I'm not going to read the whole thing because that wouldn't be right. Automotive News would probably not like me for that. So we'll read just a couple paragraphs here. So Ford Motor Company, beset by ongoing production woes, told dealers on Saturday it was pushing back allocations and that wholesale deliveries will be lighter until the end of May. Although it continues to produce vehicles and fill customer orders. So what allocations are talking about are the dealer stock allocations. So basically telling dealers you're not going to have stock inventory probably scheduled until into May. So for dealers that have a lot of orders out there for customers, it's not bad news necessarily. It's just news because right now, like, we have 40 vehicles on our lot, stock vehicles right now. So basically it's saying we probably, unless they're already in transit, we're not going to get any more stock inventory for a while. But they plan to, because they want to fulfill those customer orders first. We already knew that with Maverick. There's no stock allocations right now, so that's not a big deal. So kind of learning when they mean allocations, there's two different types of allocations. There's retail allocations and stock allocations, and knowing that difference can really squash the myth of this. So people reading that, they read the title, no allocations until late May, then people are freaking out that their Maverick's not going to get scheduled and allocated, even though we're talking about it being this month. But because we're talking about stock allocations, so they're not going to do any stock allocations for that. So just kind of keep that in mind. I think there was another quote down here we actually had from Ford, because they got this information from dealers that came out of the meeting and interviewed them. But I actually have a quote when they did get a hold of somebody from Ford. Andrew Frick actually had a quote in here. He said, "We're trying to produce every vehicle we can right now. We're dealing with he said, myriad of supply chain issues like everyone is. We're working through those issues right now, and we feel very confident about how we're positioning our production and trying to get as much flow to dealers as we can." So, and he's talking about getting some stock allocations and such. Now, we've been doing this for a while now. We've been telling our sales guys, hey, if you want to get a vehicle built right now, you have to take the custom order. Get that custom built order, and let's submit that order for that customer so they can get in line to get their vehicle produced, because they're probably not going to find what they want off of our lot right now, or even coming in. That's not probably going to happen. So last month alone, we took 163 orders in for different vehicles, different model lineups. Of course, not Maverick, because they were closed out. So we have 163 non-Maverick orders that were submitted last month. So we're going to start seeing those get built because those are in line. So our goal is to get 100 orders every month, because that's about how many vehicles we typically would get in from Ford as stock inventory. Since we're not going to get stock inventory, we want those custom orders. So we're telling people to come in and want to get a new vehicle. Hey, here, it might take a little while, but let's custom order your vehicle and let's get it coming this way. So that's kind of cool. Now, the other article I want to talk about was basically talking about selling vehicles and getting vehicles to dealers without chips. So people are concerned about this as well. So basically the title says, Ford will ship and sell vehicles without chips, controlling non-safety critical features. So Ford Motor Company is attempting to ease inventory constraints, plans to ship and sell particularly built vehicles that are awaiting semiconductors or related components that control non-safety critical features. Executives told dealers in a meeting Saturday. So basically, now what they're gonna, according to the people that came out and they interviewed, said the partially built vehicles Ford will send to dealers, and that will be drivable and sellable. So not just sitting, because at one point they were going to do is they had all these vehicles sitting on the lots. They wanted to ship them to the dealers and have them sit at the dealer lots. Well, we don't have room for them to just sit there either, and so they decided not to do that. Back in July, they were actually thinking about doing that and sending those vehicles to the dealers, then have the dealers put those chips in, and they decided not to do that. So that's something to think about. Now, again, these are sellable vehicles because they will be, again, non-safety chips waiting. So it'd be mainly like features that might not work. So let's say you have and they didn't actually say what models they're thinking about doing. There was no talk about that. Whether it's going to be a Maverick or any of the vehicles. But let's put the scenario like this. There are some people out there that are like, I would rather have my truck and be able to drive it because my other vehicle is about on its last leg. I'd rather have a vehicle that can drive. Maybe I don't have the heated seats and heated steering wheel, or maybe I don't have the dual zone climate working right, or which I don't think that would be one. It'd be more like, hey, the heated seats that don't work, heated mirrors may not work, but they can do the other features. It still drives, it still can get you great fuel economy if you have a hybrid, and they can ship these to you, and then the dealers would install them. Basically, it'd be like a recall where once that chip would come into the dealership, they'd have to call you in to get that chip put in your vehicle. So now not sure how it worked for like us, where we sell out of state. Those vehicles would be delivered to the customers, where they have to, we have to send them. Probably we'd have to send them the chip to that dealership, and you would go in and install it at your local dealer. But it's a way to get vehicles. It's a vehicle. There's a lot of customers I know I've talked to that really they need a vehicle. I've talked to one that is waiting on theirs to come in. They're driving one of their family members' vehicle right now because they don't have a vehicle, and such, because it just broke down on them completely, and so they're driving a family member's vehicle until theirs comes in. So they'd rather have a vehicle to drive and then have the chip put in for those last features that they ordered. So I'm not sure if there's going to be any kind of credit, because I'm not sure. Some people ask, well, why would there not be a credit? Probably because you're getting all the features eventually, so they probably won't credit you anything at the start for that reason. So anyway, but again, it's just speculation. It's just right now they're just talking about it as an option. Again, back in July at the Ford dealer meetings, they talked about an option of sending them to the dealerships, and they end up not going through with that. So if they have enough people, enough dealers saying we don't want to do that because our service departments couldn't handle the backlog of trying to get people in, along with our other service that we have, so they may not go through with this. So we really don't know. So at this point in time, it's just talk. That's all it is. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. But anyway, wanted to kind of share all those with you guys. So again, some great news updates and everything. So hopefully this was a great transition for this week, so you guys can still have a chance to talk to each other, as well as get updated on Ford news, because that's what I like to do here at McArthur, is keep you updated on Ford news, updates, and information. So I think we've done that this week. So if you did like this, if you're new, you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed over to the channel. Hit the notification bell, that way you get notified of our video. If you want to become a member, I have the link in the description. Check that out. It's kind of towards the top of the description, I believe. So you can go ahead and do that. I think it's in there. So I'll make sure it's in there if it's not. But go ahead and click on that if you want to become a member. So I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for joining me tonight. If you watch this live, get a chance to chat, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you coming in each week. And we'll see you back next week for another live stream video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you later.